I started my Discord server for Hardcore Terraria over 1.5 years ago, and while I haven't achieved the initial goal of beating Master Mode, 4th worthy Hardcore, I also haven't given up. I've come to love Hardcore, and we've even beat regular Master Mode Hardcore. If you want, you can see the final Moonlord fight of that run on my YouTube. Throughout all of this, I've learned a lot about Hardcore, and I wanted to share some of that with you today. Now, I want to preface that this will not be a video about technical strategies to apply in your Hardcore runs, but more of general tips and tricks to make Hardcore more enjoyable to play. Although if people are interested, I would love to make a video about some technical strategies that I've learned that are extremely helpful for Hardcore runs. Anyways, here are my tips and tricks for enjoying Terraria Hardcore. The first thing I've learned by playing Hardcore so much is just to explore. When I first started playing Hardcore, it scared me. I would want to play extremely carefully all the time. Don't get me wrong, you should be careful, but being careful to me has evolved from keeping myself out of dangerous situations to throwing myself headfirst into dangerous situations and figuring out how to avoid dying. You are inevitably going to get into dangerous situations in Terraria, and avoiding them early game will only delay your ability to learn and adapt. By avoiding things like fishing early game and just going out and exploring and putting yourself into these dangerous environments, you actually get better at the game and increase your survivability. And this leads me straight to my second point. Start new runs immediately after you die. It can be very easy to get discouraged after dying and losing a run, but if you start a new run right away, you won't have time to dwell on it. Combine this with my first tip, and you'll learn a lot faster. By exploring more, you'll be exposing yourself to more dangerous situations. And yes, you're gonna die, but with each death, you should learn something. And if you don't, then take a moment to ask yourself why you died each time. And then when you jump into your next run, you can adapt your playstyle based on what you learned. Maybe you went too fast and weren't looking out for traps, or maybe you should have recalled as soon as the situation started to slip out of control. By starting new runs right away, I became a lot less scared to implement my first tip of exploring. If you die, who cares? Start a new run right away and jump right back into it. There's no use being scared of dying because it's gonna happen a lot. So just start a new run and keep playing. Now, this is going to be contradictory to my previous tip, but nothing in life is black and white, so it is what it is. Take breaks. Maybe you just had your best run ever and then you died. That can be crushing, and maybe you've been applying my last tip of just starting new runs every time, but sometimes it feels like you're just ramming your head against a wall and you're not getting anywhere. If you keep dying early and aren't learning and aren't playing very well, maybe you just need to take a break. I've been playing Terraria for at least 8 years. Of course I get sick of it sometimes. Taking a break for a couple days or more can be great for you to just focus on things in your life that you need to. And then, when you come back to Terraria and Hardcore, I'm sure you'll feel refreshed and in a good headspace to focus on not dying. As I've said, I've gotten sick of this game a lot, but after each break, I always come back to this game and rediscover why I love it so much. My final tip is to play with friends. It can get really boring playing by yourself all the time, so play with friends. Sharing your experience with others can make it so much better and much more meaningful. Suffering alone is never good, and in Hardcore, oh boy do we suffer a lot. That's why I created my Discord server, to play Hardcore with a bunch of people. This can be very difficult in Hardcore, especially because of permadeath, and it kind of flies in the face of my second tip of starting new runs right away. How we do it in my Discord server is that whoever dies is considered dead for the rest of that run, and we just have the survivors go on as long as they can, kind of like an elimination. Unfortunately, this sucks if you die early, so we implemented a rule that you can revive once if you die on the first day. And while this isn't completely fair to the spirit of hardcore, I think it's fine, because if I was playing alone and die within, like 5 minutes, I would just start a new run right away, so coming back in the first day doesn't really change much. We've also experimented with revival rules where the survivors can vote to revive one person after, a certain boss progression is reached. This can help to kind of keep the game interesting and make the grind less of a slog. Combining all of these tips has made hardcore such a fun experience for me over the years, and I hope you come to love it as much as I do. Ultimately, what I've learned after playing hardcore so much is just that I love Terraria, and I love sharing that with others. So as long as I'm having fun and making memories with people, I'm going to be having a good time. I just want to say that if you made it through the whole video, I want to say thank you. I'm pretty new to making videos, and I appreciate everybody who watches. If you want to join my Discord, there is a link in the description. Also, I stream all the hardcore runs we do there on Twitch, which you can also find in the description. Thank you.